Guys, today I got a question from AM Hawk, who recently joined a jiu-jitsu gym, and he's wondering what the idea of no slams means. So he says that, or he's asking, does this mean if I do like a double leg, I can't elevate, twist the person and land in side control? Or is this more about picking people up and slamming them down in guard? And so he's wondering about, when is it okay to slam people in jiu-jitsu and when is it not okay to slam people, or is it never okay to slam people? So I'm going to show you about slamming people with my lovely assistant, Mr. Adam Wilson, and this crash pad. In jiu-jitsu, first off, let's talk about like the bad slams, the stuff you can't do, okay? That one lay down right here. Let's say that I'm in Adam's guard and I pick him up and I boom, drop him down. That would be illegal in jiu-jitsu, okay? In judo, there's actually a rule where if I pick you up, you basically restart the match because I could potentially slam you, which may not even be a bad idea, right? To say like, hey, you could potentially be slammed. We don't want you to get hurt, but you know, that could be an option. Same thing with submissions. Let's say that Adam's got me like in an armbar or triangle here. Okay, gets me going right in there like this. He gets me in some position. I can't pick him up. You're getting heavy. And slam him, right? I'm getting heavy. Everybody talks about Adam getting all jacked on the channel. Yeah, he's getting a little thick. Getting thick, Adam. So I can't slam him there, right? If I'm caught in a submission. And so basically, if you pick the person up off the ground, you have to be responsible for bringing them back down gently. Now, that said, if they jump guard and you just kind of push away and they fall down, that's on them. But if once they've locked up in the position, if you pick them up off the ground, you have to be responsible for bringing them down with a certain level of like ease, okay, if we're talking about jiu-jitsu. And also for training purposes, like I understand sometimes people like realism, and you know, that's not realistic. It wouldn't work on the streets, Z's. But here's the thing. We have to get up and work the next day. So again, yeah, it may not be super realistic, and we should talk about like hooking legs and letting go of things 100%, right? But we still don't want someone to get slammed. Like I've had guys come in the gym, like there's one time one of my, he was a purple belt at the time, caught a good triangle on this real big strong guy, and the big strong guy lifts him up, has my purple belt over his head, and you know what he's about to do, and I was like, whoa, stop. I'm like, don't do that. He's like, what? He didn't know what was wrong. I was like, bro, what are you getting ready to do? He's like, I'm just gonna like slam him. Like I've seen the UFC. I was like, yeah. I was like, who'd you watch do this? He's like, I saw Rampage do it. I was like, yeah. Now what happened to Rampage's opponent after that was over? And then like the wheels started turning. He's like, oh, they were knocked out. So again, we don't want to knock out our training partners. And again, you could do some serious damage to their neck, their cervical discs that could possibly injure them and take them out for years to come, or could end their jiu-jitsu career. We don't want to do that, right? So that's an idea. We can't do any of that. Now, on the feet, let's talk about it. So on the feet, the way that I think about it is it's very like close to, comparable to high school wrestling rules, where basically you have to come down with them. So like, I'm not going to spike some guy on his head, or I'm not going to drop him up. If I have a double leg, I'm not going to purposely pick the guy up. You know, like if I've got a double leg here, I'm not going to pick this person up and then like walk around here and then like slam them. One, it's a waste of energy. Two, it's not gonna be good for the person, and then you can potentially injure them. But you can still take them down with control. You were asking about like a double leg, right? So if I get a double leg here, let's say if I start here, boom, and I do a good outside step here and a good L step, and I like pick up and slam and inside control, perfectly legal, perfectly fine. You came down with control. You didn't just try to pick the person up and then dump them on their neck, right? That's the big distinction. Like you're bringing it down with control. Same thing with like judo throws. If I get here and put it at him in like a basic hip toss here, boom, like right here, and I throw him and I come down with it, completely fine. No problem. You can slam people like that. The idea is control. So again, we're not picking the person up in a guard position, slamming out of submissions. We're not slamming out of guard, not doing any of that stuff. If I have them up, I'm not gonna pick them up and try to dump them on their neck. I'm gonna take them down and bring them down with control. And again, judo throws, double legs, all that stuff is legal. Anything you would basically do in most judo tournaments and basic judo tournaments and basic like high school wrestling, you can do in a jiu-jitsu competition. You just can't do some big uncontrolled slam. So that said, every now and then You'll see some funky calls in jiu-jitsu where someone will get called for a slam that shouldn't have been. You know, you'll see sometimes where it's like that's basically a high school wrestling technique and they got called for a slam. So again, take it for what you will. But again, most of the time you'll be okay with that stuff. And so hopefully that helps you sort of clear up some of the ideas with the slamming sort of stuff in jiu-jitsu. And yeah, I'm finished. So Adam?
Adam.